And there we go.
Hey, Bull.
There we go. We now have audio.
Fable, come here.
Yeah. Now we have audio.
Now we have echoes.
Yeah.
That was me.
No. When he said we now have audio, I heard we now have audio again.
Yeah, it was coming through B's mic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was.
Come here,
me.
Stinky.
You fucking.
There we go.
Come here.
It's
you
okay.
stinker.
Smog's like 15 seconds
get
behind.
the
He's focused on other things.
Well, he's got the lovely puppy in his arms.
Bite his head.
It looks like a ball, and therefore it must be a ball.
Bite him. Bite him.
All right, Fizz, you're on the counter trying to have this conversation, I think.
Can we get this fucking conversation started here, Fizz?
I can.
He's
I'm
talking
sorry.
to my
Give me 1 second.
mom.
All right. Slight pause.
Come on, Stinky.
Got to take out the dog.
I was scared to go to the bathroom like 20 minutes ago.
Well, if that happens, we might as well just end the session now.
Good lord.
I know.
Fizz is knocked unconscious. We have to go save him.
I can pretend to be my dad. Hang on. Angry grumpy stuff.
I need Ozempic for dogs.
That is a wild statement to bring back as the first thing you say. Putting back on your head.
If you had to pick up this little dog, you would understand.
Good lord.
Good lord.
You know how to solve that? Get smaller dogs.
Are you saying the puppy that we graciously raised for you
Get him, Dan.
Is
Yes.
chunky.
Fucking bop.
is now chunky?
No, she's not chunky. She's heavy.
Wow.
It's a German Shepherd. They do that.
Beefcake.
Well, you
No
clearly
doubt.
haven't seen the other one.
No, the other one's not. This one's a third of the other one's weight already, and she's only 14 weeks old.
That's insane.
You know,
Okay,
she's
so
going up to the boot
conversations.
camp. Send her off.
Our old German Shepherd Basil was like he
Weighed 100
was
pounds.
lean, but he was big.
Yeah, he weighed
Hey,
100
Dan.
pounds.
Your stream is still stuck, and the stream is starting. Just so you know.
No, it's not. Refresh.
I've refreshed a couple times. It keeps doing it.
I'm definitely seeing us at the right place.
Okay.
Control F5. That's the pinky on control, and then
It's
F
still-
is like Frank, and then F5 all the way at the top. It's a function button.
Mine is.
You might not
mine
have
is
those
still,
on your keyboard if it's still made from like whalebone or something.
Mine is still showing the same thing.
Oh, I definitely see us talking.
Yep. And I see us also.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, so conversation. Let's go. Let's get this moving.
Oh, the quiet one wants to talk now, huh?
No,
Yeah,
she
right.
wants Fizzle Whip to get his shit together.
Said 0 words in the
Sir,
previous session.
you've already created enough problems today. All
I have
the
not
way
created
around.
any problems today. Let's be clear about
Look,
that right
well,
now.
Look, Atwood is scared to death because you went up, snuck behind him, grabbed him, threatened his life,
That's not
told
how
him
that
you were going
went.
to take his family.
Why do we keep forgetting the part where I lied to him and it still didn't work?
So, in my
Can I
defense
get
of not
credit for the
saying
things I
anything,
did?
in my defense for not saying anything, or not a lot last week, was I'm on new medicine, and you just so happened to get me on the day where it was throwing me off. I'm better today, so let's get this moving. Reel it in, gentlemen. We got a thing to do.
Not me. It's your father.
Hey,
Reel
Choo-Choo,
it in.
this is a guy's conversation.
Wow. I'm gonna go.
Oh, really?
I'm standing over here.
Roll
I
for
am not
initiative.
involved in that.
Now I know where Must Be gets his misogynism from.
I can see.
It doesn't go up. That's not the way that works.
What kind of
like that.
kind of gentleman are you raising? Must be.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. I would never say things like that out loud.
All right, reel it in. Let's go.
We're
Let's
waiting
go.
on your dad.
I'm sitting on the counter, still doing, still.
You were talking to him like you were Mickey Mouse last time.
You're not
Right
wrong.
now. So
We're trying to
you
figure
cannot
out. Minnie's
listen
doing
to me.
Pluto.
You need to do your thing, which is be over there and be quiet while I'm doing my thing.
I'm
about
to be chaotic neutral if you don't hurry up.
I was working on a gadget, sitting on the counter waiting for Atwood to calm down because somebody scared the crap out of him.
Listen,
I'm
quit
being
whittling your wood and get to work.
unintimidating.
Hey, it's not my fault I'm 2 dentist appointments behind.
So, as I was saying, Dungeon Master, I'm still working on my gadget
Yes.
while I'm sitting on the counter. I'm looking up at him occasionally, but not being threatening, not staring him down, not approaching him, and not dragging him over.
Okay.
I haven't threatened his family, his children, his wife.
Hey, I didn't threaten anybody. The entirety of my fear implementation there was purely based on the fact that I am large. That's just rude. That's sizist.
I mean, it's kind of true.
Sizist. That's a new word of the day. New word of the day. Jupiter, what are you doing?
I'm
Nothing,
still
just like last
standing.
time.
I'm still standing by the door, observing and watching to make sure that the bugbear and the other one doesn't get
Yeah,
involved.
Fizzle Whip, she's waiting on you.
I told you what I was doing. I'm calmly sitting
I'm
there.
legit about to walk up to this counter and be like, "Hey, Atwood."
Does the wild creature need to walk outside to make this less fearful? Is that what's we're hearing?
I don't think he's as nervous about you as the guy that put his hands on him.
Well, I tried to
Didn't put
throw
my
him, but I
hands
nat
on
one.
him. I
So
put
to be
a
fair.
hand on him, and I'm 3 feet tall.
Well, maybe you shouldn't be so 3 feet tall and aggressive,
Hey,
Napoleon.
Garden gnomes can look pretty scary, man.
I'm just saying, Napoleon ruled half the fucking planet.
He did. You're not wrong. Although Napoleon was fairly average sized as far as
Okay.
people in his
So
culture.
Atwood has come a little closer to me.
Yes, he has.
Okay. I'm going to kind of look up at him. Be like, come on, come talk with me.
So
Just
he is.
sits.
He's still apprehensive. He's got tears in his eyes. So he's not quite sure what everybody's really doing.
I'm about to start stealing stuff. That's what's really doing.
And this is why I'm keeping an eye on you.
I was looking around your shop and I noticed it seems that there were some children's toys and stuff laying around. I don't see any children. Is there something maybe going on that you want some help with?
About a month ago, my daughter just disappeared at the middle of the night. We've been looking everywhere. We went into the woods just right outside of town. We're just so distraught about what's going on. It's not just our children. It's everyone's children in this town that's having an issue. We keep missing them. Out of all the families that live here, half the children are missing. We don't know where they're going. We don't know why they're going somewhere. We're just so confused. Every day, all I can do is just stand here and just think about what we can do next. We need help.
Believe it or not, that's what we're here to do. We're here to help out. I know it's hard to believe that with my friends, but I assure you their intentions were good.
So he approaches you a little bit more. He's relaxing a little bit. He sees that you're not a threat. What can you do to help me? I don't have much I can give. I know we could probably get the townsfolk together and we can all talk about it, but I can chip in a little bit, but I just don't have that much. I can let you look around the shop. Maybe there's something here that can help you. You know, maybe you can borrow it, or maybe this will go to finding my daughter. I don't know. I don't know what to do.
Well, we need information. That's the most important thing. So getting people together would be great to help get us the information. Would
I
you
think we
mind
can
if
do
my
that.
friends? Would you mind if my friends approached the counter and we kind of talked?
Too late. I'm already here. Sir, nobody wants your money. We just want your honesty.
All right. So is this the looking up over the edge of the counter?
Listen, all he can see is just above my from the eyes up.
Sed slides across the floor on his butt over next to the counter and just sets his arm up on the counter and is looking across it.
I'm just gonna walk up to the counter like a normal person and lean on it.
I'm acting like a non-normal person because I don't want to scare him again.
I try to push Fizz off the counter.
What is going on back there?
Sorry. The druid scared me.
No, I'm sure.
So Atwood kind of like just starts relaxing a little bit more, and he's looking at everybody across the counter. The only thing I know is there's an old lady, Madame Yuri. She's a truth sayer down the road. We're all blaming her for these things.
Oh.
We've gone to her. She's told us things. We just don't believe her.
Hold up. Atwood, did you just say that you blamed the madam?
It's hard to say blame, but the things she's told us, they've come true. Even the disappearance of the children, it's all come true. It's
isn't that her
almost like
job?
we're but she's never been out or doing anything. We don't know how she knows this. We know she's a truth sayer. We know that, but we don't know how she's got all this information. It just doesn't make sense.
I thought she was a seer.
Yeah, but she's never been that good before.
Oh, so she just started getting right all of a sudden?
Yeah.
Oh.
And that's what's so odd about this. So he's looking at everybody, just shaking his head. You can tell he's just frustrated.
Poor guy. Like, real talk. I feel bad for him.
I didn't know your character could feel bad.
My character has empathy, you fuck. Just not very often.
Just not very
Must be a nice contrast from the usual.
Listen, you grow up on the streets, you got two choices. Live or die.
All right, so I guess our next step would probably be to leave after we buy what we need and go find this Madame Yuri.
Hearing that, Cedric looks over. He said, "You guys go ahead and grab anything you need. I'll cover it."
Damn. Big spender. What do you got over here, Atwood? What's the most expensive thing in the store?
What are you looking for? What do you think's going to help you?
What costs the most?
He's looking to fence his goods to another trader.
Not wrong.
And he's thinking about it. He goes, I might have something.
Oh Lord.
I might have something. Let me see what I have. It's in the back.
All I gotta say is if you come back with a bone carving, I'm out.
All right. So he goes, unlocks the door.
Unlocks the door, you say.
So While he's back there, are we allowed to like talk amongst ourselves in a way that he can't hear? I look over to the group and I'm like, it definitely seems like he's telling the truth, but I have a lot of concerns about this Yuri. There are some people who seem to think that she is the saving grace, and there are some people who seem to think that she is causing these things.
Yeah, his story, right, is 180 degrees out from the innkeeper. The same innkeeper who we're going to go back to and stay the night in his inn has a totally different version of this than the general store guy.
Well, not everybody thinks the same way as one another. One person might find somebody to be appealing, while the other person might find somebody to be less appealing. It's completely natural for two human beings to have different versions.
The fact
Fucking
is, though,
great.
Alpheus is right, because when it comes down to it, Atwood has his daughter to be concerned about. He has no reason to be dishonest with us. The innkeeper, we have no grounding information to bind him to truth.
I
Okay,
don't think that
so
we should make any judgment calls based off of two different people. We need more evidence before we can say whether this person is or is not.
I'm not suggesting that we make a judgment call. All I am saying is that we should keep it in mind.
all I'm saying is where I'm going to sleep tonight, I got to be able to trust somebody.
You can
Putting that out
trust
there.
me.
We can keep watch while
I
we're
push
sleeping.
him off the counter again.
Anyway, he's going to be coming back soon. Look around the store and see what you guys can find. At that point, my character is going to walk over to Fizz and kind of lean over and whisper to him, "What do you think of these guys?"
You gonna move your character, or are you just gonna stand and shout across the two of us?
I'm not sure about that Altheus guy. He's a little aggressive. Jupiter's kind of quiet.
I think it's somewhat of a little man syndrome. You get past it
Oh,
with
what
your
the shit?
intelligence.
I'm gonna go observe these traps
Cages.
again and see if
I
see what's going on over here.
I was going to the same place that Jupiter was going, though. I want to
Of
know what
course.
the deal is with these.
Fizz, are there any materials that you need while we're here?
If we can find any books, any sort of history, anything that tells us about what's been going on in this town,
Christ, dude.
absolutely. I also need a fizzle gear, a great dran, and a
Great what?
great gen.
Jen?
So out of
great
character,
gen.
can, I fit in these cages for reasons I'm asking.
Yes, because you're child-sized.
So the answer to
Maybe I'm
that
not
question.
standing as close to Jupiter as I was just a second ago. Then.
Yes. So you can definitely fit in the cages that are right there. You know, real world example is a large dog crate.
Okay.
Why don't you want to stand next to me?
The reasons. Okay, so is he still in back?
Yeah.
So he's still in back. You can hear
So
him
what- I wanna-
rummaging around.
I want to like snap my fingers to try to get Fizzle Whip and Ced's attention real quick and be like, why are there cages in here that look like they fit a human?
I'm
Probably for
guessing because
annoying-
if you have someone locked, that they can't be kidnapped. But judging by his stories, they're less than successful.
We should
Why
probably
would
find out why he
you-
has these.
Oh, so why would you want to lock a person to stop them from getting kidnapped? That seems like just using them to get kidnapped.
I mean, that seems like you're packaging them up and asking them to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Only if someone can carry away the cage.
Well, clearly, if they're carrying away an actual person, they'd be able to carry away the cage.
You're not wrong. It's definitely troubling.
Refresh my memory here, out of character, Dan. The stuff that's on the counter is just fodder that came with the overlay, right?
Right. Most of this is fodder up on the counter. I mean, for anything that's of real purpose in the room that you've seen are the, and I'll highlight that here.
Cages.
cages for sure. So all the cages here, those are real. Normal counter with the light, that's real. There's odds and ends of just
Yeah, okay.
provisioning
I just
and
wanted to
whatever.
know if those papers were legit, because like the book, remember I was going to try to read the book, but if the book and the papers are fake, then it's kind of no.
Yeah, that's not quite what's there.
Okay.
Would there possibly be any sort of lumber tools, like a lumber axe?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to go look at those and see if I can find the one that seems the most sturdy.
Okay. So they're going to be over roughly in that area.
Is there a natal strum here?
What is that?
Are you just making up words as you go?
Actually, though. Look, I get my character's low intelligence, but in real life, I'm confused.
Did I hear a niner in there? Were you on a walkie-talkie?
Niner. What else are you guys looking for? No, seriously, Fizz, what are you looking for on that?
I'm looking for gears and for trinkets and springs
Looking for a
and stuff that
spacely
I need.
sprocket and a cogsley's cog.
Spacely sprockets. So there's not a lot of tinkering things inside of here for your character to get into.
Okay.
The average set of books that you see over here in the corner, from your vantage point, they just look like normal leather-bound books. Not much of interest beyond maybe they are for foraging manuals for the area, maybe some
Ooh.
standard home maintenance manuals if that's what you're looking for.
My
I'm
character
looking for historical work or for historical documents.
My
So,
character, after picking out the axe, is gonna look for any sort of like food materials that would be good for like trails, like hardtack
Out
or
of
something
character,
like that.
are there any special set of tools around that I might want?
I'll be right back.
So if you're looking for maybe lock picking tools,
These tools, that's what I'm looking for.
okay. So if you're looking for anything that's lock picking ish, it would be under these tables right here.
All right, let's slide over here.
All right.
Would there be a locksmith in this sort of town?
I'm not looking for the locksmith.
Yes, but why would they provide materials to generic people?
It's
that
a
aren't
general
commonly
store.
used?
Yeah.
Just saying, if there's stuff here,
Trying to think of what else.
So Al, roll me a perception.
my 15 natural perception doesn't count? Son of a bitch. Oh, fucking fuck.
That ain't it.
I see things.
You see a nice set of lock picking tools.
Oh, yeah.
You notice the very fine wood craftsmanship of the cabinetry.
Who's all looking my direction right now, just for reason?
No one.
Asking for a friend.
If anybody's close to looking at you, it's probably Fizz, because he was looking over at the books.
Yeah, my investigation. I'm watching them like a hawk.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity,
Did
though.
that say +7?
It does indeed say +7.
What the hell?
What happened?
He rolls +7 for investigation.
Yeah.
Jesus.
That's awesome.
Am I the only one that got absolutely screwed in RNG here?
Yes, you did.
And I roll +7 in religion and arcana too.
That's insane.
I mean,
so I have the wood cutting axe, or I found a wood cutting axe. Did I find hardtack or some sort of like trail food?
So That's a good question. Yeah, I mean, there's some hardtack in there. There's some fresh vegetables and fruits from the area. Think of the standard, lettuce and tomato-y kind of things.
Okay.
Some of it's packaged up, ready to go for hiking or going longer. Um, yeah, hardtack. Yeah, I mean, you got some really heavy bars inside of there you can grab.
Okay.
Okay,
Um,
so
go ahead.
go ahead.
So
You go.
I look over at Sed and I tell him, hey, don't forget some of that lettuce and tomato.
Lettuce and tomato is less important to bring. It's easily perishable and also easily
That's right. So
damaged.
you eat those first to offset the fact that you're going to be eating nothing but friggin' hard rocks the rest of the time.
Have you ever tried to hike on a stomach filled by nothing but lettuce and tomato?
You betcha.
And how enjoyable was that?
I'm still here.
So
Sed reluctantly walks over and just like he's huge, so like you see him picking up these things and like a head of lettuce fits on his palm like that. And so he's just like
Andre the Giant with a 12-ounce can.
I'm
Little
picturing-
Brussels sprout.
you guys ever see the advertisement of the mini Krispy Kremes where Shaq is holding it and he's like this?
Oh man. Yeah.
Oh dude. Anyway, so I'm grabbing like a bunch of hardtack. I have this lumber axe sitting over on my shoulder, and just grabbing material still.
Okay. You gonna walk over to anywhere?
I just look back over at Fizz, who's still sitting on the counter and kind of looking across to the books. I'm like, hey, are you gonna get anything? Do you need anything?
I need down. That would be nice.
Yeah. My character kind of he just kind of looks over at Fizz and then looks down. He kind of sets the axe up against the cabinets next to him and comes walking over. So he's like sets axe down.
Alpheus is going to chortle a little bit when he hears I need down.
I reach out with one arm so that you can grab onto my forearm and I help you down off of the counter.
Thank you. Okay, so
You went the wrong way.
I didn't move it.
That was Al trying to push you over
But
the side.
I'm not doing a forward lunge to get you off the counter.
So I am going to investigate these cages. See
Okay.
if I can figure out what they're utilized for.
Yeah. I'm going to do what I do best. Atwood!
So Atwood is coming back. He's coming up to the counter.
Again, I stand on my tippy toes so he can see my eyes. What's the deal with those cages in the corner? Look, Seth doesn't even fucking trust me. He literally slid in behind me.
No, I'm walking away. I just stopped to listen to what's in those cages, but I was actually walking away.
So prior to asking Atwood anything, he's got in his arms something wrapped in a very heavy sheet, almost like a blanket, and he's bringing it out.
Okay.
Put that thing back where it came from, or so help me.
It better not
He
be a
appro-
human head.
No, it's long.
Long.
You can tell there's something inside of there that's long and not so much skinny. It's a little thick. Call it like a
Wow.
pipe or a
all the girls.
log. Yeah. So he puts it on the counter in front of you. He's like, I have this.
You don't
He-
say.
So
And he's not unwrapping it. He's
Not
just
like a
leaving
baby
it right
arm.
there. Yeah.
Sed is gonna walk over and look over at Alpheus. Do you want me to open it for you?
Hold that thought. Fizz, since you're over by the actual cages there.
Yeah.
You do notice there's some reddish hue to some of the bars.
That's blood.
Hold up. What the Fletch?
15 natural perception didn't pick up
Remember,
on
no,
that.
17 natural investigation.
Oh my.
I got a 15 in perception just walking around. I'm at 15 all the time. I should see red.
But I'm
Even if it's
investigating.
screwing me.
I'm investigating this.
This is
So it's not It's not that you can see it directly. It's because of Fizz's height. Think about where he's looking. He's looking under
He's taller than
slightly.
I
And
am.
So
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. You're a gnome.
yeah, he
What,
is.
3 foot? Am I?
Yeah.
Haha.
Gnomes are taller than halflings by like 2 or 3 inches.
I feel disappointed that I'm winning this conversation.
All right. Altheus, you can barely see that there's this thing on the counter. You got said to come over.
Box. I'm standing on this box.
All right. I want to make sure you're in the right place. So you're on the counter. You see it. Are you going to do anything with it?
Still wrapped up, right?
I'm
Yep, just wrapped up. You're going to open it, said?
Yep.
You're a brave man. I'm going to move back.
Said slowly pulls back the covers and he pulls out. It looks like a very shiny gold mace. No jewels are encrusted in it, but it's almost like glass. Pieces of glass are in it, and where the jewels would be.
Okay.
No color to them. It's just gold standard mace length. It doesn't look like anything.
Does anybody have detect curse or anything just in case?
I mean, Sed wouldn't even think to look at that. Sed just looks over at Altheus and just kind of looks back at the mace. Do you really want this?
So Atwood, where did you get this?
This is one of those pieces that just showed up one day. It was left outside the gates, and while we were looking for where my daughter went, we found this. It was kind of half buried out in the grass on the edge. It was just one of those that caught our eye. We saw the glass. It kind of reflected. Maybe it's worth something. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Maybe it's useful. I don't know.
We'll definitely take it.
Wow. Okay. Do we want to have somebody like look at this? Maybe.
Oh,
like
is there something to look at? Let me look.
So, real quick, as Fizz is walking over, I lean over to Altheus and I just kind of whisper to him, I think it would be better to be picky about these things away from the person trying to sell it to us.
I just want to make sure it's not going to kill any of us when we touch it.
I've already touched it. It would have killed me.
Oh, I didn't realize you actually touched it.
Yeah, I was holding it when I was unwrapping it.
Wait, hold on. You were holding the wrapping or you were holding the mace?
Yes.
Okay, so that's an Arcana check.
No, I picked it up and was unwrapping it.
Oh, had I known that, I'd have told you to put it back down. Okay, so that ship's
now we're on the same page.
I thought you just unwrapped it on the counter like you were, at Subway and you got a sandwich.
Nope.
Okay, makes more sense now. All right, whip. What do you see?
Yep. I'm looking right now. Ooh.
Rolls a nat 1.
No, I rolled a 22.
Attaboy.
So
I'm still getting the feel for it.
So is there any magic in this thing or what? There's a whip?
There's definitely something about this. There's an aura about it.
Ugh.
Do you think it has potential to be dangerous?
Let me see if there's anything about it in my brain dealing with any religion.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Where are you getting these rolls?
Out now.
Off of the game, man. Okay, so this is definitely a religious artifact of some sort. It's got a purplish hue to it. So it's got some magical,
It's done typing. Smog can read now.
some magical properties. I'm not sure who the god is though, but there's definitely something to this. It's definitely a good thing to have.
Could I use my background with the monastery to check and see if I recognize it as anything related to my god, I can't remember his name right now. I'm blinking.
It's fine. It's not like it's
Helm.
your god or anything. It's not important to you. It's fine. I forgot what my god.
The god Helm. Excuse me.
The god Helm.
Okay. So Ced kind of leans over, and after Fizz talks about it being religious, and just kind of inspects it a little bit, and he says, it doesn't seem like anything familiar to me. Nothing relatable to the monastery.
Is there anything historical I can determine from that, Dan?
Not at this point. I'll leave it there. There's not.
I've got about as much as I can get about it.
Yeah, think of it. You can tell it's not the history you know. So an assumption could be that it's from this area that you're in right now.
Yeah, so I look at Atwood, I'm like, we'll definitely be bringing this with us. Is there anything else that you can think that might be of importance?
The only thing I can think of is just maybe go talk to Madame Yuri if you can. You know,
We will.
That's the only thing I can think of.
Atwood, I have to ask one last question. We've all seen the cages in the corner, and we're concerned about the use of those. Can you give us more insight on that?
What? What do you mean?
Roll me perception.
Son of a bitch. 15's not enough? If I don't win this one, Dan, I quit.
And actually, because you're all at the counter except for Jupiter, Fizz said, roll a perception also.
Damn.
I just rolled.
I'm not said, Al. Sorry.
Althea's got a 24.
Oh, there he is. Oh, I didn't see the number. Oh, okay.
I don't care what they pick up on. Wow, said good roll, 16. Finally, finally fizzled his whip.
Don't be mad.
So, and just asking, are you on Discord, Al?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
I'm always on everything, so you can message me anytime you want.
All right.
Do you want me to go get a drink so you have time to type? Because my cup is actually empty. I was gonna go get a drink before we started on this. Okay.
So we found these cages. Again, like this mace in front of you. We found them at the end of the road, just outside the town here. Yeah, just the way they are.
The road. Do you mean like
from the
west?
You came in from the west. We're on the north side of town.
Correct.
So if you're asking Atwood,
yeah,
we found this with that mace out the eastern side of town.
Okay, so that matches up with what we heard earlier. Just getting out of character here. Okay, and so
and one thing to kind of highlight in there, when you guys were coming into the town, what you saw in the background, and I'm not sure if we covered this, but the town itself is on a level plain, but in the background, not so much to the north, not really to the northeast, but somewhere between northeast and east is a mountain range. Far off, probably a day's hike.
So 6 or 8
So is he done
miles.
explaining that to us?
So from what he said, he's like, yeah, we found these just outside the eastern gate, just like the mace. Not sure where they came from. I figured it's something I could sell to somebody.
So I'm gonna because I'm standing on the box, so I'm gonna kind of like lean over and go, anything else you want to tell us about them?
He goes,
Inquisitively.
the only thing that I know of, it looks like maybe somebody used it to trap an animal. I mean, you probably, if you go and look at them, you'll probably see some blood on them. So I don't know where they came from.
Okay.
Hold on a minute.
Yeah, and so you're
like, let me run my little ass over there. Anybody watch The Acolyte? He reminds me of the little friggin' squirrel that they used to hunt down the Acolyte.
That's funny.
Okay, I'm looking to see if that kind of jives, if that's looks, if there's any human type remnants, any animal remnants. I know there's some blood on there. Oh, and I pull a little rock out of my pocket, and I open it up, and it's light. It's got light to it, so I can see better.
okay. So you can't. You're looking at it, just from looking and kind of, you know, moving around the cage on the outside a little bit. You can't tell where the blood came from.
Okay.
Before you saw it was red, you knew it was some kind of liquidy dried on there. Now that you're really looking at you really can't tell. It's red blood, so that tells you it's something of normal-ish.
Right.
If you look at the freshness of it, and that's actually a good example, probably within the month, maybe less than that.
Okay. Any animal hair or anything stuck in that blood? Interesting.
And where you see the blood is partly on the outside of the cage and underneath slightly. Did you want to look at the cage anymore?
Yeah.
Okay.
All
So
right, really quick, just catching back up. So out of character, Fizz is doing his thing. I don't need to know anything, right?
Correct.
no, well, he's looking at the cage itself.
So
he sees blood-ish on the outside. He sees it kind of underneath, the rungs themselves. Did you want to go inside the cage?
Yes.
Okay.
And I've rolled that investigation.
Yep, I see it. So as you go inside the cage, you don't see a lot of blood as if it's on the inside of this.
So he's inside of the cage. I lock the cage.
That's okay. I'm busy looking around anyway.
Good Lord.
Why are you locking him in a cage?
Because I want to see how hard it is for him to get out.
While they're fiddling about with the cage.
Because the thing is a simple lock, right, would be enough for an animal.
True.
So if this is more than just a simple lock, then it's not designed to keep an animal in it.
I'm going to look over at Atwood and just hand him a small pouch with money. I'll DM you, Dan.
Okay.
And I just say this should cover everything.
21 gigawatts.
Okay. So I am inside the cage. I'm looking around. I notice there's not blood on the inside of the cage. It's mostly on the outside. And I'm now locked in the cage. Is it a simple mechanism that I can unlock? Or is it something that is complicated?
So as you're looking at the lock, now that you're actually seeing the lock there, you actually notice that the lock is locked from the outside, not the inside. So any of the latch is definitely on the outside. So if you're going to try and manipulate the lock itself, you're going to have to reach around to get to it.
Okay.
So while the crate door, cage door was closed on you, it will, unless somebody from the outside locks it, there's no way for you to do anything on the inside of it. You can reach around the bars to actually get to it,
Right.
but you won't be able to get, easily access it.
Okay.
There's another question: the grading of the actual cage. How
Hi, buddy.
large is the grading?
So figure 2-inch,
Yep. Right there.
2-inch by
Hi,
about
Bobby.
4-inch.
She said, "Hi, buddy."
So it's roughly the size of an adult human's hand, like the palm.
It's like chicken wire, like tight chicken wire size.
Yeah.
Oh, you said
In
2 inch
the
by 4 inch. That's big.
Yeah, and it's not wire. Think of it more like rebar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So really quickly, do I need to? How do you want me to investigate this lock? Do you want me to use?
Investigate. That's actually a really good one.
Okay. Well, the reason I was asking is do you want me to just do sleight of hand and try to pick it? Or is it not something that's that big? I'll go with investigation. Let's see what we can
Do
Do
an
we not have a
investigate.
key?
What?
Now that you mention it, there is a key in the lock.
So it's keyed. Okay.
Still want to play around with the mechanism?
Do I see anything else on this or around here that tells me that there's something that's crazy about this lock from a perception perspective, since I can't investigate the lock? Like when I look at this lock, do I look at it and go, yep, this keeps the kids' book bags in their locker? Or do I look at this and go, yeah, I need to look at this again maybe later down the road?
If you let me out, I could always investigate the lock.
Nobody's talking to you, midget. Shut up.
So the one thing you do see on the outside,
right now.
what you do see on the lock itself are scratch marks.
Okay.
In metal?
In metal.
Oh,
So
shoot.
don't think of it like a padlock itself, but think of it like a metal, mostly circle, kind of ovalish.
Like the old school like locks that you see in the movies and like Pirates of the Caribbean or whatever.
Yeah, so it's like flat on the outside, and there's scratch marks, 3 really deep ones, almost like something was trying to scratch the lock open.
Okay.
Would I be able to see if it was an animal? Perchance?
Try. You can try.
I'll unlock the lock and let Fizzle whip out, since that segment of the experiment is over for me, and I got.
Would that be a perception check or an investigation?
For you,
She's
investigate. Let's do investigate real quick.
How do I do that? How do you guys do these things?
Just click on your investigate skill
on your investigation.
On your sheet.
In the long list on your player sheet.
Woo! I rolled a 20.
Yes,
You can tell it's humanoid.
That's
Okay.
even worse. All right, so I look at the 3 of us that are sitting over here, and I literally go, "We do not talk about this in this store.
Got it.
This is not the place to have that conversation."
Okay.
I don't know where that place is, but it's not in here with other people in here.
Agreed.
So I'll wheel around and be like, "Said, you got everything? You ready to go?"
Yes. Give me 1 more minute.
Okay.
Looking over at Atwood while they were fiddling around with the cage, I was texting you, Dan, asking if they have like atlases or maps of the local area.
And Atwood kind of looks over at you and says, yeah, if you look over by the books, there's actually a book on a couple of areas around here. One of those is about the mountain range, is out to the east.
Okay. I'm going to grab like a town map and then the mountain range. And then you said that there was something that was like
Yeah, from an out of
vegetation
character
guide.
perspective, we should definitely grab anything that's cartographic.
Yeah. And you said that there was some sort of vegetation guide, if I remember
I
correctly.
think it was a
earlier, so I'll grab
herbology
that
or
too.
some type. Yeah.
Yeah.
So while you guys were messing with the cages, I grab all that stuff and just show it to Atwood to make sure I'm kosher with how much money I spent and whether or not I'm good to go.
It's
Okay.
if you help me find my daughter, we can figure it out when you come back. I'm not going to worry about money right now.
I walk back over to the group and I hand Jupiter the harvesting, like the plant guide, and then I hand Fizz the like cartographical stuff.
The nerd shit.
Yeah, basically.
The nerd shit.
I like
My
that.
character's
Nerd.
not smart enough to read that sort of stuff, but he's smart enough to know what it is.
Yeah. I get it.
Like, my character can look at a map and be like, okay, this is the right area, but he wouldn't be able to like fine detail direct himself based on a map. He would get lost.
Right.
All right. So are you guys all grouped over by the cages or trying to get towards the door?
Towards the door.
A little bit.
I
left.
think we're done if Ced's done paying, essentially.
So as you approach the door and before you leave, Atwood yells out as you're leaving, just remember the full moon or the dark moon is tonight.
Oh, I look back at Atwood and I have one more question for him. What's your daughter's name?
Celia.
You gotta ask questions he's not ready for.
No, I had it. Celia.
Celia. Okay.
With a C as in Charlie. Celia.
I really hope that his daughter's not what was trying to get out of that cage and wants to kill us in like 20 minutes.
We don't talk about that while we're in here.
It was an out of character moment. I should have said that.
Okay.
Yeah, so grab the goods that we bought. I bought the farmer's tack and the axe, and then obviously the mace, and then I'm walking out with that stuff kind of on my shoulder.
Okay.
All right, so we're outside now.
You are outside.
So out of character real quick. There is no one around us, right?
So you're outside, and let's get you up to where you're supposed to be. There you go. So yeah, again, the streets are mostly empty. You don't really see anybody. You see one person walking off in the distance, but they go into one of the houses. They don't look at you. They don't do anything. They just walk out.
Did we make out anything on this person? It's just some dude in clothes going somewhere or some lady in clothes going somewhere?
Yeah, where you see that person going is somewhere right here.
Hang on, I'm zooming out. Oh, way down there. Like on the other side of the building. Okay.
Yeah, so you just saw him walking around on that side.
Okay. We're clear they were coming in this way?
So you were seeing him going this.
Oh, I got you. Okay. All I'm saying is I had a problem in my campaign where people thought they were in one spot coming from somewhere else, and there was a problem.
Yeah. Always ask. Always ask.
All right. So I don't know from Altius's perspective, right? We need to have a conversation as a group.
Yep. But we need to do
it more
private.
I don't know how to find privacy in a place where there seems to be nobody.
I mean, the inn was completely empty.
To stand here at the door and talk about it.
But if we go into the
somewhere
inn,
that we can go to that I can be like, hey, do you guys have a second? I'd love to have a discussion with you before we go any further.
there's just like an open field somewhere that we can like see everything around
somewhere
us.
Where I can be like, nah, you're not snooping on me.
Let's see. If you're going to look at anywhere to go, your safest bet would probably be just as you were approaching on this side.
Where we came into town.
Yeah, because you haven't really explored anything over onto the east side, the south side.
So
I'm right here.
I'm going to ask the group if we can go back over on the edge of town and just have a conversation before we get too much farther.
Yeah.
Yep, that's fine with me. It
works. It works.
my character comes running back. Fizz, stop tinkering. Let's go.
Oh yeah. On my way.
It takes him 20 years with his little legs. Wow, he moves really fast.
He used sprint.
He's got extra. He used an action.
I did dash.
There you go. So I'm gonna start, since I kind of started this piece, and I'm gonna tell everybody, look, there was some hesitation from Atwood in talking about any of the pieces that were associated with that cage. He did not want to talk about those cages. I'm not sure if it was that he just didn't want to talk about them because he didn't want to talk about them, or if he didn't want to talk about them because he didn't want to give all the information about them. But he definitely was hesitant to give more information about those cages.
The scratch marks on those cages were humanoid.
Yeah, and those locks are definitely not meant for just an animal. Those locks, if it was an animal, you could get by with just a slide. That is not a lock that's going to keep an animal in.
So, upon hearing the humanoid thing, Ced kind of looks at his own paws / hands and kind of looks at him and realizes he has like the sharp nails at the end of his hands and holds out his hands to Jupiter and asks, "Do you think someone like me could have done it?"
Oh no.
Dan, what say you?
Would that be a perception, a nature, a investigation,
So
animal handling?
ask that one more time.
He wants to know if Ced's hands could have made those marks on the lock, or if it was like a human.
No. You can tell if you look at it and you kind of look at the size of a normal human hand, slightly larger, but that's about as far as you can go. You can tell by the claw marks that the claws were thick, really thick, but they weren't much bigger than a big human's hand. So it wouldn't
Like
be
a wolf.
like it wouldn't be the size of a bugbear's hand. You can tell by the spacing of it. That would be too much. Maybe a single finger could do it.
Okay. So the answer is no. Your hands are far too wide and large, and your nails are far too big.
Okay, so sensibly we're looking for something that is larger than you all, but smaller than me.
Larger than me, but smaller than you, and it has claws.
So like a werewolf.
That's some type of maybe a wolf or a large animal with nails.
But a wolf isn't dexterous enough to do that.
I don't know.
Fizz, I saw that you were kind of tinkering around with stuff in there. Do you happen to have something that might be able to remove one of the gems from this mace?
There are no gems though. They're glass, right?
Yeah, the like glass gems.
Of course, I've got hammers, chisels. I've got all kinds of stuff.
The holy hand grenade that he's picking at.
If we tear this apart, though, it's possible it could affect the weapon.
I think it would be important to know that information. Another question that we might have, though, is we could bring it to Yuri and see what she thinks.
Shit, we didn't ask where that was.
The innkeeper said it was to the north of town.
Yeah, so was the general store. My point is,
if I remember correctly, the innkeeper said it was here.
Oh, see, I thought he said it was this building. I'll break into any of them. It's fine.
I mean, it's a public seer. I'm sure if we walk down the street, we'll see a sign for her shop. Though, given the attitude that Atwood seemed to display about her, it might be vandalized. Okay, we should probably go to hers before night.
I would like to reiterate that we now have two very different sides of the same coin with this same person, right? So we need to look at trying to figure out how to get a hold of this seer and see for ourselves, make some assessments of her personally, because I understand Atwood's daughter's taken. I'm not sure how accurate his portrayal of what's going on there is. I also recognize that his daughter coming back is super important to him, but his take on her was very different. Thoughts?
I think that we definitely need to take into consideration what we've heard from both the innkeeper and Atwood and make our own decisions based off of that information once we've discussed with her.
Let me do some investigating. I'll let you know.
I want to be clear. If Atwood's right, that means that we're going to try to stay at a place where we can't trust the person who's given us the room.
Alpheus, I have a question for you that I just thought of. They speak of a lot of the people in this town as being family oriented. The owner of the inn has 0 family relations. What would cause someone like that to come to this sort of town?
Money.
Okay. Well, there's not a whole lot of money in an inn business in a town that is constantly damaged by whatever's happening here. So where is he getting the money from?
I don't know. See, that's my point, right? Is that I start to get more and more questions as we go through and start to dig a little deeper and peel back the layers on this onion, right? I look at all of this and I go, at least Atwood's intent is to try to get his daughter back, assuming that his daughter is actually his daughter and not somebody that he captured in that cage and she escaped.
So the next question is, do we bring the things that we obtained from Atwood to Yuri for her to look at? Or do we play the safer and try to come into it with empty hands to try to get as much information as possible?
I think you take it.
I would say come into it with empty hands, because if we're going in with all our cards shown, if we do find out that she isn't what we think she is and that she is this evil person, we're now showing her that we might have a weapon against her.
Right.
Yeah, I think so. This is an out of character piece. I don't know how to explain this in character, but between the perception skills that we have and the investigation skills we have, I think that walking in there with something that can trigger some sort of illicit response from her might be more beneficial than letting her sit at ease and play us and play the game that she doesn't really know what's going on.
So we have a yes and we have a no. Fizz,
Does that make sense? I think if we walk in there with that thing and show it to her and it doesn't mean anything to her, then we'll get a response from her. And if it does mean something to her, then maybe we can perceive or inspect what that looks like or see how that works. You see what I'm saying?
I would say how confident...
It's an initiation of some sort of illicit response coming from her.
How confident do you guys feel that you can intuit that sort of response?
I don't know.
From her?
I
Honestly,
have a passive insight of 14 and a passive investigation of 10 and a passive perception of 16. So I'm pretty aware.
My passive insight's 11, my passive investigation's 11, and my passive perspective is 15. So here's the thing, though, and so I'm going to drop back into character here real quick, right? And the idea is that but we have to be careful, right? Because we don't want to play our hand too early. So I think I may be taking back what I said here, and we may want to go over there and just initially see what's going on with that. And then maybe we'd be better off taking that mace or something back to the innkeeper and seeing if he knows something about it. See if we can ferret out this information from somewhere else and let the rumor mill dictate itself and go back to the seer.
Do you guys want me to just cast an identify on the mace?
I thought you did that in there, like strictly out of character.
Where have you been for the last 10 minutes?
I just investigated it.
Oh, I didn't realize you didn't like Wadir the witness.
So
No, I didn't use the magic identify on it.
We're all kind of standing on the road, so Sed kind of walks over off the side of the path and kind of sits down.
You mean 4 people randomly standing on a path doesn't look normal?
Probably not. sets down all the stuff and then lays down the mace in front of Fizz. Also, you kind of described it as being very large, but is it like what is this?
Is the
Is
whip
it
large
like
or
the
is it like
length of? Yeah.
Is it 3 foot or larger?
So the actual mace itself, if Sed were to hold it, it would probably be the size of, about this short.
Okay.
but he's like 7 feet tall.
Yeah. So to
it's
Fizz,
18 to 24 inches then.
yeah,
Fizz, it's a two-handed weapon.
it's a two-handed weapon. Think of it almost the length of a real world pool
Baseball
cue.
bat?
No,
Okay.
pool cue.
Oh, longer. Okay.
Yeah. So it's not, and that's probably one of the key items of it, because as you lifted it, Said, of course, to you, there's no weight to it.
4 feet.
Right. Yeah, pool cue.
Okay,
is
so
not-
it's big as fuck then. All right.
Okay, so I'm casting.
And Sed's carrying it
identify on this.
around like it's a toothpick and he's cleaning his teeth with it. That's fine.
Again, said to him, to Fizz and Al, it's huge. I mean, it's
Yeah,
huge.
Yeah, so I set the mace down in front of Fizz where he can better observe it.
Okay.
Did we notice that the girl stayed over there by herself because she's not about to get blown up when we do this? But the 3 dudes were like, "Yeah, let's try to do some shit with this."
I'm observing.
This
In
is
case
not
you need
totally
healed.
sexist at all, and proving every point I've ever made that men are stupid.
In case you guys need healed, I'm just gonna stay a little bit back.
Well, we're gonna need healed. We're all gonna die. All right, let's have at it, Fizz.
Okay. I gotta figure out how to make this thing. I guess it just automatically works.
What's the spell description
Let
say?
me see. You choose one object you must touch throughout the casting of the spell. If it's a magic item or some magic imbued object, you learn its properties and how to use them, whether it requires attunement to use, how many charges it has, if any. You learn whether any spells are affecting the item and what they are. The item was created by a spell. You learn which spell is created, which spell created it. If you instead touch a creature, yeah. So
What's the casting time?
it's just verbal semantic, and there's no casting time. Oh, 1 minute.
Okay.
All right, so nobody talks to the midget for a minute.
One minute later.
1 minute later.
1 minute later.
Fizz is sitting here. Umogwe mi fi mi sao.
Oh, that was the wrong thing. Didn't mean to do that.
Well, who are we
Sorry.
curing wounds on?
Nobody. It was an accident.
Your past trauma. He's trying to heal it.
Also, if
He's-
you're gonna
he's
roll an 8
preparing.
when we're curing wounds, don't do that anymore.
He's just preparing for what might happen.
Okay, so I cast Identify, sir.
Okay. So the good, this is one of those easy ones. As you lay hands on this item, your eyes close automatically.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Everyone around you notices that your eyes close. And in place of your eyes, a little bit of bright light shines.
What?
As
the
that
fuck?
happens, as the bright light shines where his eyes are supposed to be. And just on a side note, Fizz, you don't notice this.
Okay.
The actual mace
So it's just
itself,
like
where
everything
those
else with Smog, then he doesn't notice till it's all over anyways.
so as his hands are laid on this weapon of mace, the actual glass pieces start to glow that same white.
Okay.
Now, Fizz, what you feel is a darkness.
Oh, that ain't good.
As the mace gets a little bit brighter, and those glass pieces around it. Think of it not where the spikes are, but the glass is on the outside around it.
Yeah. Where
As
the
that
depth-
glows brighter white, not blinding, it almost matches the color in your eyes or where your eyes are supposed to be.
Okay.
All right.
Start
I'm gonna.
levitating and say there is no Dana, only Zool.
Good lord.
Yeah, we're okay with that one.
Oh, shit.
All of a sudden, at the end of the spell, you heard a loud pop. Eyes go back to normal. Fizz, you don't know what really happened except for you felt this darkness. Everybody else sees his eyes go back to normal and the light goes off in the maze.
Okay.
So I'll run back in here now that he's not dead. And I'm gonna ask him, "Are you okay?"
Yeah, Sed says it's the same thing, just kind of leaning over.
Well, yeah.
Fizz.
Why? What's wrong?
You just literally shot light out of your eyes.
Interesting. That is extremely interesting.
And the color of light that you shot out of your eyes is the same color that came out of the little thing down here.
Were you able to perceive anything about the object?
Yeah.
It is not.
Yeah, what happened?
It is not good. There is a darkness to this weapon.
Oh, Lord.
Darkness how?
I couldn't tell you exactly. I just know that it's a very dark feeling.
So when you say dark, do you mean like nighttime or are you talking like bad dudes?
Like bad dudes.
Oh,
Well, for
Davis
now,
is
we keep it
fucking
with
up
us so
I
that
hate you so much
bad
right now.
dudes don't.
I'm pretty
use
sure
it.
we can assume with children going missing, the mace having a negative energy, that there's something evil or dark affecting this town.
So, quick time check on the actual in-game time. It's roughly 4:30, 5 o'clock.
Okay. Here's what I think. I think that we make camp and I do not think that we should be staying in that inn.
I think
just
that we
think
split
that's a
up and
bad
that
idea.
2 people go to the inn and 2 people go to Madame Yuri and we question them separately and come back and meet up with the information.
Why are we separating? That's always a bad idea. Always a bad
I
idea.
think so.
It's
I
2
think
and 2.
I don't think we should separate, and I also think we should all stay in the inn, but we should not all sleep. We should short
agree.
rest through the night, and everybody should be. We should have watch. There should be
All I
never a
have to
moment
do
where
is
somebody can sleep.
All I
If
have
we're
to do is
going-
meditate for 4 hours and that's my sleep so I can stay up later.
Okay, then what we need to do is allow Jupiter the time to meditate now so that we can sleep and she can keep watch. So we need to go to Yuri. We need to identify any information we can from her. And then we need to hustle back to the inn so that Jupiter can rest.
Yeah, I don't need a lot of sleep from the street urchin perspective. I can long rest or short rest and be okay for a few days. So
Said kind of looks down at the ground a little bit disappointed. Unfortunately, I'm a very colossal creature and I require a very colossal amount of sleep.
Colossal.
notice noted. We're not going to put the bugbear on watch.
I mean, if I've already rested, I'm fine, but I would assume that my character probably needs his beauty sleep.
All right.
So are we going back to the inn to rest and then talking to Yuri tomorrow, or are we talking to Yuri and then going
No.
back to rest?
Going to talk to Yuri, but trying to be expeditious about it.
Yeah, we're talking like 2 hours. So 7 o'clock, we can be back at the inn. Give you till 11
Okay.
o'clock. To
He
meditate.
did say that the mist was supposed to show up tonight. I don't. What time?
What starts at with? I thought it happened after dark.
I have it. One sec.
In the notes that you didn't share with the rest of us?
Yes. So we were talking about it's a new moon tonight, but we didn't talk about specifically how the fog comes in. But we do know that the fog causes an amnesia on the town.
Well,
so
if
fog
we need
comes
to
into
know-
town, strange musty earth smell in the air. Ground churns a dead smell, small lights in the distance in the east. Fog causes amnesia and comes from the east and the north.
Okay, hold on. We're clear that fog causes amnesia. That's problematic. We can't all be in the fog at once then.
But how can we avoid something that is so ever present?
We need to figure out what time the fog rolls in.
And we need to go talk to her. So if we go talk to her, we can ask her when the fog usually comes in.
Doopa 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 doopa
Damn, she just was like, I'm out.
Y'all taking too long.
I'm just trying. I'm just saying, I was very aggressive last time. That's frowned upon.
This has little feet.
Where'd everybody go?
Ced comes back and lifts Fizz up onto his shoulder and walks with him.
Who runs Bada Town?
All right, we're gonna go into Madame Yuri's.
Did you just use a
shop.
Mad Max reference?
I did.
Master Blaster.
Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Get you all. I got one more to put in.
See, this is the difference between medicated Mars and new medicated Mars.
ADHD, got it.
I'm ready to go.
I like that.
Click, 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 click.
Sorry, I'm typing.
That face.
Is it a floofy face?
Oh, it's a floofy face. It's an adorable face.
I also have a little floofy face.
I blame
Oh,
Dan
what
for
the
all this.
fuck?
Leave it. Leave it. Leave it. There we go.
As we were walking up, was there anything that seemed significant about the exterior of the building?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Is this a ladder right here?
Yeah.
It is.
Yes.
Going up?
Going up, but it's only on a wall. There's no shelf or anything above it.
Wait, so it's just a ladder to the roof, the ceiling rather?
Ladder to the ceiling. But if you notice the windows, it looks like it's something to maybe get to the windows.
Oh, I see.
So is she just sitting on the couch as we're coming in?
She is. And she's just staring at you guys as you come in. No smile, just one of those, not dead look, but just not much of a reaction off of her.
So I walk around in front of her and I say, hey, I'm here because I hear you're stealing children.
Oh my God.
Ced just kind of shakes his head and walks in and tries to find a place where he can kind of lean up against a wall out of the way.
Did you see Small?
This is not how we talk to people.
All right.
In character, my character looks over at Jupiter. You're going to have to give him social lessons.
All right, I'm going to walk over to everybody else and I'm going to say, pardon my colleague. I guess that's what we can call him. We are here to have a few questions answered. We've been told that there are some children disappearing from the town, that you've been giving people some answers that they haven't expected. What can you tell us about the fog that rolls in? When does it roll in? And have you noticed anything odd?
Out of character, has anybody noticed she hasn't said a single word since we walked through the door?
Yes.
Okay.
More importantly, you just accused her and she didn't say a word.
And that's my point.
So you said that she was just staring at us. Can I get any sort of idea of what emotion she's expressing?
Like, is she in a trance?
No, her eyes are open. She's just kind of looking at everybody. He knows that you're behind her. She doesn't turn around. She's not doing much more than just looking in front and looking to the sides, and that's about it. She recognizes you guys are in there, but she hasn't said anything.
Okay.
Crazy bitch.
So, with a passive investigation of 17, do I see anything of interest, anything that catches my eye outside of her being weird? Anything that really sticks out in this building?
Looks like just a normal single person home. So, there's a kitchen off to I'll call it the north side, the top part there. What you don't notice is there's no bed. There's no upstairs.
Okay.
Most of the items that you see in this are pretty accurate. So if we do a quick little look around as you're looking at things, let me grab my pointer. Kitchen's up here. Dirty dishes are in the sink, of course. She doesn't seem to be well kept. There's items left out on the ground over here. Looks like children's toys.
Suspicious. Out of character, I said that, not.
Okay.
She called her sus.
Just standard knickknacks on a table. You already saw the ladder on the side. This looks like where she might be storing her drinking water and probably some wine. You kind of smell the wine out there. On the ground there, that's more of a marking inside of the wood. Don't think of anything on that.
Are there really sabers for me to pickpocket there?
Yeah, but these are chests, stacked chests over here. There's a nice fireplace that she's in front of right now, and it's it's actually lit with a good amount of wood inside of there. There is a pot boiling right beside it. As we look up over here to the top part of the screen, it just looks like more knickknacks, a rucksack. There's definitely a guitar, some kind of guitar on the floor, and a stool. So it's average. And yes, that's a bear skin rug underneath. It looks more like a wolf, but it's thicker.
Okay.
Is she going to answer my questions or just stare at me?
I'm going to say, do you do fortunes and talk to people?
Right when you ask her that, she gets up off the couch, walks around, comes over, and moves this chair right here, sits down, puts her arms on the table, and waits.
And what?
Waits.
All right. Well,
what is she waiting for?
Like
Said just watches as she walks over to the table and just kind of walks up and stands next to the table, but I'm not going to sit down yet.
Yeah. If you did try to sit down, you can grab 2 chairs and see if you can do that, or just sit on the ground.
I'll just stand next to her.
I'll sit down next to her and I'll kind of like nudge her with my elbow and go, Yuri, talk to me about these kids.
She turns slightly to you, looks back ahead, closes her eyes, and the lights and the shadows all kind of grow dim.
Nope.
I'm going to look at Jupiter and I'm going to be like, Jupiter, I dated a girl who did this once. Watch this.
the center table, those are crystal lights. They look almost magical. You haven't done anything to find out if they are or not yet. They look magical because there is no flame, but they are lights.
Okay.
So far?
Okay.
You gonna investigate Fizzle Whip?
Not yet, because she's busy doing stuff. I'm not gonna mess with it.
All
Wanna
right,
see
so
what
she's like,
where this leads.
she's basically like this on the table. Everything's kind of dimmed in the room. Those lights in
Hold
the
on.
middle of the
So we're
table.
clear. This was not the sun going behind a cloud dim.
No.
This was like I fucking turned the lights off with my mind.
Yes.
All right, just want to make sure I'm shitting myself properly.
I'm just gonna be kind of on edge about this entire thing, so I'm really watching Yuri for any like quick movement in order to be able to respond faster if she were to try to be aggressive.
She brings her head back. Eyes are closed. A small purple aura starts forming around her.
Okay, so
She's got her
at that
arms
point,
crossed
I
like
am
this.
now going to start moving my ass a chair over here. Yep,
Sitting on
I am
Jupiter's
pushing
lap.
Jupiter's ass along the table.
Fizz,
Why
what are
am
you
I
doing?
getting pushed?
What did you, Mars? What did you
Would-
say?
Why am I getting pushed?
Because I can't go towards her.
Would any of us recognize the sort of magic that she's performing?
Maybe.
So I'm investigating first to see if there's any strings, anything, sus.
From a physical standpoint, you don't see anything mechanical in the room.
Okay. So
You
now
don't
I'm going
see
to do
wires or anything.
What I
a
roll
crappy
to try
Arcana
to-
check.
Can I also do an Arcana check since I'm watching this?
Well, everybody can. Just throw that out there.
I am not
Oof.
doing an Arcana check because my Arcana is poop. All right, I will do it, but I think I might hurt somebody with this. Oh shit.
Ooh. Nice. And I'm gonna do a religion check.
So
Oh, nice.
actually, this one.
So we're clear here. I am trying to get fucking. Oh my god, I failed my stealth check.
Where are you stealthing?
I am trying to back out so that she can't see me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So we've done Arcana checks, religion checks. Okay. So this is definitely not anything religious.
Okay.
I'm staying next to her. I'm watching where this is going.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm still just kind of ready in case something happens.
So I know where it's at. Who is holding the mace?
I am.
Oh fuck me.
Oof.
That it's been real, brother.
It's nice getting to meet you.
When the DM asks that question, it's not because he thinks good things are going to happen to you.
You guys are so negative. Oh my goodness.
No, I've seen every movie ever.
Have you ever met my dad as a DM?
Oh yeah. We talk a lot.
So now you know.
All right.
So her eyes are still closed. She points at Sed directly with her eyes still closed.
Oh, this bitch is about to go all Portuguese on her ass.
You have found something of interest. May I see it?
What the actual fuck?
Said, still just kind of watching her, lifts up the mace and sets it on the opposite end of the table down here.
Automatically goes right in front of her. Starts to glow. She closes her eyes, puts her hands on it.
At this point, right, I'm gonna like try to get Fizz's attention and be like, this is what happened to you.
Gotcha.
Hands are on it. Starts to glow a little bit. Her eyes don't glow. You notice that. Fizz, you don't know what that means. You don't. To you, it just looks like she's got her eyes closed because you don't know what happened to you.
Right.
But everybody else that saw what you looked like, her eyes are not glowing.
Oh, see, I assumed the same thing was happening with his eyes. I'm glad you said that.
Is the weapon glowing?
Yes.
Okay.
Who would be closest? Fizz.
Fizz is
Roll a
definitely the closest.
Yeah, roll a perception real quick.
Oh, Lord. Please don't kill the little people. I'll be next.
Jeez, a whiz. My passive perception's 14.
I didn't even see it show up.
Could I roll a perception roll as well? Because I'm just like basically death staring into her eyes, trying to make sure shit isn't going down.
I also am sitting here watching and would like to
I'm
roll a
behind
perception.
her, literally sitting behind her on the chair. So
In other words,
chair
Fizz
essentially
screwed up.
What?
Fizz did a terrible perception roll.
I rolled a 20 though.
Yeah.
Fizz can't perceive because his eyes are glowing and he's going into a stroke again.
Things.
Am I allowed to roll one?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Absolutely not.
Woohoo!
So from a perception, what you see is her eyes, although they aren't glowing white, her irises have gone completely black.
Wait, her eyes are open and that shit just like went away, huh? All right, here we go. So it's like the acolyte all over again.
And this is how we die. I say out of character.
I'm not that evil. I'm not that evil yet.
Not yet.
So,
We'll get you there.
as her eyes have gone black, the mace in front of her is glowing white. For those that can see the mace and know what it looked like in front of Fizz, it's not as bright.
Okay.
So where it was actually glowing pretty heavy white light before, it's roughly about half the intensity.
So now I'm getting curious. So I'm gonna like slide over here, like peeking over her shoulder. Means not very well because she's probably the same height as I am. Because I'm assuming she's human.
Mhm. So that purple aura that you saw around her has turned a slight gray.
Well, that ain't good. She's dying.
She starts talking again. This was found outside the city, the town. There's some evil that this came from. You'll be able to find the children where this came from.
Oh Lord.
Mm.
I say under
She
my
holds it there.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
What else
we know
can you
where it
tell
came
us
from?
about the children?
She takes her hands off of the mace. Eyes go back to normal. The aura dies down. And it's almost as if she's woken up. She's looking around at everybody. You're
Where's
here
the
to
mace
rescue
at?
the children, aren't you?
Where's the mace at?
Still in front of her.
In her front of her.
So
Yes, we
for
are.
me to get it and pick it up and get it away from her, I would have to like move my happy ass up there, grab it with two hands, and then lug it across the room to give it back to Zed.
Yeah.
All right, let's make that happen and see where we go with that then. As I die trying to pick this thing up.
Roll a strength check.
Oh Son of a bitch. I hit the wrong button. Stand by. Balls.
It's not moving.
Shocker, by the way. Went 16 to 8. Ugh.
So
Oh,
in response to
my happy
Yuri's
ass back down in the
question,
chair.
I'm still standing on the other side of the table. I see Altheus try to get up and like quickly grab the mace, and that's not successful. So I start walking around the table to approach and grab the mace. I say, as Fizzlewhip does at the same time, yes, we are here to rescue the children.
So as she's looking at everybody and she sees that you tried to grab the mace, Set is walking around the table.
Correct.
She just closes her eyes again, puts her arms across in front of her. You must go. They're in the mountains. You don't have much time.
Well, that was
The dungeon
helpful.
master out of character here, I want to tell you. I love that you just fucked us with the you don't have any time. Appreciate the hell out of that one.
Look over at Yuri and I say, the people of this town seem to have mixed feelings about you. What is the premonition that you told them that caused this chaos?
Her eyes are still closed and she just leaned forward at this point. No response out of her. You can still see she's breathing, but she's not talking.
Okay, so
Yeah,
I
no
want
time.
to
We
try
have
to
to
get
go.
my question here before someone else says something. And I go, Yuri, when does the fog show up?
Persuasion.
Son of a balls.
Can I use intimidation?
Why? Why didn't you stay on the 18?
No response out of
persuade.
Yuri.
Yuri, we need to know when the fog rolls in.
Are you pleading?
I'm pretty much at this point.
Roll persuasion.
Got a 16.
Yeah, she ain't talking to me. Sorry, guys.
Ed's got a 16. Does that get us in the window? What is Fizzlebutts doing?
Yeah, Fizzlebutt, what are you doing?
I didn't help none.
Not helping at all.
No response out of her right now.
Oh my
No
goodness.
response out of her right now.
Even at a 16? Oh.
DM, can you explain to the other DM that when the DM says no response, it's no response?
We're gonna have to. She said we don't have any time. We're gonna have to go because I'm assuming we can only get to the mountain while that moon's out. Correct me if I'm wrong, Yuri, who's not talking.
Okay,
So she's
hold
still
Hold on.
arms crossed, eyes are closed.
All right.
One hand goes up.
Oh, a hand went up.
Lights go back to normal in the room. Door opens. You must go now.
Oh my god.
To the mountain?
She's not responding.
Seth's
think
gonna
that is a
grab the
yes.
mace and kind of walks this way.
Don't carry that thing. Put it in your backpack.
Right?
I'm carrying it.
Don't die.
Are
Tell
you
me
saying
you've
that?
never
Are you
been
saying that
cursed
in
by an
character,
object
Altheus?
without telling me you've never
Yes,
been
I'm
cursed
telling you,
by an
don't carry
object.
it. Put it in
Okay.
your backpack.
Seth looks at Altheus. I can't let this get into anyone's hands. I need to carry it.
But if it goes badly, you're carrying it, which means now you become the conduit by which it operates.
Then I bear that burden.
Yeah, well, then we all have to try to figure out how to stop you if you get possessed.
I can carry it.
Well, according to you, you seem to
No.
have much confidence in the ability to kill me, correct?
I don't have confidence in trying to kill you when you're possessed. That's cheating.
Out of
Guess
character,
we'll
I would
find
just
out
like
soon
to
enough.
state it's clear
And
that you've
so
never had a DM as my dad.
I just keep walking with the club in hand.
All right, we're
All
outside.
right. All right, who's inside? Who's outside right at this moment?
I'm
Everybody's outside except for Sed, I think.
I'm outside.
Said, roll me a perception.
Oh, balls.
15.
You look back over your shoulder, and the old lady is gone.
She's fucking gone.
Spooky.
So my character is a little bit spooked by that because, like, I've seen some magic at the monastery, but not people just literally disappear. I look back forward. Altheus, she's gone.
At which point now my asshole puckers.
Simple cantrip.
I walk in.
Simple cantrip. No worries.
Thinking
Question
that
to
I
the
would be
DM:
able to
did the environment
rattle her.
change at all, or is she just gone?
So she's gone. The lights have not changed from going back to normal.
Okay.
The fire is crackling in the background, so it's as if nobody has been in there now.
Okay, but remember there wasn't a bed in there either, so that does kind of sort of make sense.
It's a simple cantrip. Trust me. Come on, let's go.
Come on, let's follow Mickey Mouse. I don't fucking like this.
Oh.
All right, so we
So
need
we're
to figure out how to get to the mountains.
East.
They're east.
Okay, but hold on. Are we really gonna try to go east?
No, we said that after the conversation with Yuri, we were going to go back, make sure that Jupiter was safe while she took her meditation time, and then we were going to rest while she kept watch.
But we have conflicting
Yuri
problems
said
now.
we're running out of time.
We are running out of time. We don't know when the fog comes, and the fog is going to make us forget what it was that we knew.
The fog comes from the mountains. Walking towards the mountains isn't going to get us more time.
What if the fog doesn't affect us the way that it does the people of the town?
And what information do you have that would provide such an immunity?
I'm just saying, we don't know.
And through my investigation, can I see, like, time-wise, can I see if there's fog rolling in?
How long? Hold on. Before Smog starts his thing. How long were we in this magic den of heathenism?
Well, when we came over to the side of the
6 o'clock.
It was
6:30?
5 o'clock, is what he said.
Okay, it is. What time is it now?
8.
Like, holy
it's
fucking
8.
ball sacks, man!
So we lost 2 hours.
3.
3 hours if it was 5 outside, 3 and then 8.
I thought we said 5:30.
4:30ish. Between 4:30 and 5 before we went in.
Okay, so can we as a group, do we recognize that it's essentially sunset now?
We'd have to recognize that, yeah.
Yeah, right? And it's a normal perception. Everybody can recognize that.
Okay, so out of character then real quick. We went in there and it was late afternoon. We came out, it's essentially nighttime.
Just it's not quite. They haven't.
Yeah.
You can start seeing some lights in the windows, but that's about it.
Dusk, excuse me.
Okay, so it's dusk. We don't know when the fog comes in. We don't have a lot of time. We have to go to the mountains. The fog can roll in at any point in period of time, and I know that it's been said, but we have not talked about it. Tonight is a full moon, and I don't remember exactly what was said about the full moon, but I remember it being mentioned now at least twice, which means it wasn't an accident the first time.
So
I'll help you. One thing. Dark moon, not full moon. Dark moon.
Oh, so there is no
new
moon.
New moon.
Okay.
New moon or dark moon.
So the other thing is we're talking about rushing off to go to the mountains. We told the innkeeper that we would stay and watch tonight.
From Alpheus's perspective, he does not have a problem breaking his word to the innkeeper because he's not sure that he can trust him.
No, I agree, but what about the people that are here?
Well, the people that are here are already
How-
afraid and sleeping in their houses with shotguns pointed at the door anyways, right? So like
How
the
do
point
we
that
know that the fog won't affect us inside?
We
Don't.
don't. We don't know anything. We're purely basing these decisions on gut feelings.
That's what I'm saying, though. In character, think about it. If we don't know the fog is going to affect us if we're inside. So if we're inside, we lose all our memories anyways. At least if we're heading towards the mountain, we have a general direction of where we need to be going.
we could just leave and go do something else.
I say we go back to the inn for the night, cover any area that the fog could potentially get into the building, and go first thing in the morning to the mountain.
Yes, but we can't just all sleep. We need to do it carefully.
Well, that's why we
We
said
have to
we'll do it
stagger our
in that.
schedule.
Yeah.
Like, this
I
is
only
all
need
out of
4
character
hours.
situation,
Everybody else,
right?
I think, might need 8.
Right, but it's 8 o'clock right now. They said that when night comes, the mist comes. 4 hours puts us at midnight. I'm fairly sure that we're full mist at that point.
Okay.
But we can't. We have to split up into. We have to legitimately split in twos. So the way that this has to work is that, from my perspective, this is the math in my head. This is quick math, not great math. The first 2 sleeps have to be Sed and Jupiter.
Okay.
The reason being is she needs the least amount of sleep.
And I need the most.
And you need the most.
Yep.
That still leaves one of us either. Probably the best choice is probably for me to take the short rest tonight.
Okay.
Because I don't have to worry about any spells.
Yep.
So the next question then is, where are we staying?
We have to stay at the inn. Otherwise, we create a problem of we've told someone something, and if we don't do it, then if we don't
No,
stay at
we
the
promised
inn,
them that we would protect the inn. That doesn't mean we have to stay inside the inn.
I say we stay inside the inn, mostly because if we can block the fog from coming into the room, we can at least keep some of our memories.
Yeah. So,
But how do we know that the fog is affecting people's memories?
they said
I know they
Because
said
we were
they
told-
did.
But we were told.
Right.
we
But
don't.
how do we
right?
how do we know?
Two
We
people
don't.
have told us, the innkeeper as well as Atwood told
But the
us that.
soothsayer said we need to go to the mountains now. Time is running out.
She didn't say we needed to go to the mountain. She said our time was running out, but I think we need to go to the mountains.
She said we needed to leave.
She said we
now.
need to
didn't
leave
say we needed to
now.
leave to go to the mountain. Just so we're clear.
We need to go to the mountains.
I say we play Ghost in the
my problem
Graveyard.
here isn't that I don't want to go to the mountain, because my character at its core is like he doesn't have a problem with the seat of his pants type of stuff, right? That's not the problem here. My problem here is that we still haven't been able to get the informational gap closed. In fact, it's gotten worse.
We don't have time.
My character looks over at the group. Guys, we can't stay. We have to go.
What if the only time for us to find the children is during this moon?
Exactly.
But
she told us that the kids' time was short.
But yes, but it's a day travel to the mountain. So whether we leave now or tomorrow, we're not making it tonight.
Is it a day travel?
He said it was He said it was a full day's walk to the
Maybe the mountains are far enough away from where the fog will roll in. No, because the fog comes from the mountains.
Fog comes from the mountains.
Well,
so the mountains
that doesn't
are
mean that the mountains get covered in the fog. It says it comes
Maybe.
from the mountains.
The mountains are northeast by east. The fog comes in from the north as well as the east.
But okay, so maybe, just maybe, without any like background into this, what if the spell from the fog only affects the people in the village. If we leave the village, we're on our way. The fog won't affect us.
Okay.
Possible.
So devil's advocate really quick on that. We don't know how bad and how severe it is, but imagine the four of us get affected by this fog, and now none of the four of us know who each other are.
Now,
No, the fog doesn't
Dan,
cause amnesia from past. It causes amnesia as to what happens overnight,
the
or at least
book,
that's what we're told.
the book that said took that talks about the mountains. I'm going to search in that book and read and skim and investigate and
Okay.
see if there is anything in there that talks about fog in the mountains and things like that.
Because from Altheus's perspective, I don't have a problem just
Wait,
walking out.
Dan,
What I don't like is they feel like we're not making a decision based on
perception.
information.
Do
It's just
I
haphazard.
smell the smell?
Nothing's out of the ordinary.
Okay. The ground churns a dead smell, is what the innkeeper said. I don't smell it yet.
Okay, can we do this? We know that we have to go back and talk to the innkeeper, either to stay the night or to find out when the fog comes in, because he's been the most forthcoming with information so far regarding these pieces. Can we do two things? Can we go back and find out when the fog's coming? And if he says it's coming soon, then can we basically tell him we have to go because we know where the kids are?
I can agree to that.
Can we kind of at least try to hedge our bets on some information that happens rapidly?
I have an alternate idea as well. Atwood seemed to think that Yuri was responsible for what was happening. What if we brought to him the information that we got from Yuri and saw what he thought about it?
I'm worried
won't
that
have
giving
time to do
Atwood
both.
information is going to make him run around blind, and he's just going to be chaotic. He's going to literally just start to try to just raise the pitchforks and the torches. Because the thing is a parent whose kid is in danger will do whatever they can to save their kid if it's truly his kid. We still haven't verified that it's his kid.
I think the inn's the best bet.
I think the inn gives us at least one more piece of information to make a more informed decision on, and then we can tell him we're not going to be here. We're not going to be able to protect the inn. We know where the children are.
I agree, but the one person that I felt like I could truly trust the information from was Atwood. We both had a sense that the innkeeper was keeping something from us, that he was being short with his
but my
tongue.
point is okay, so let's talk about this. He has the cages that have the blood on them that were clearly housing a child. He has the giant friggin' mace that is full of evil that was found in the field. He wasn't going to say anything to us.
We
And
might
we
actually
still
have
haven't
to go
proven
back
that
to
it's his
Atwood.
daughter.
She said wherever the mace was found is where we would find the children. The only one that knows where the mace was found was Atwood.
No,
they found
actually
where the mace.
No,
was
she
from.
said where the mace comes from. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a distinct difference. Not where they found it. They found it outside of town. It comes from, and I'm going to make an assumption here, right? This again, we're all out of character on this, right? This is literally trying to strategize where we're going. It was forged in Mount Doom, and we're going back to Mount Doom.
Yep.
Right? That's what we're talking about. Right? And so what I'm trying to do here is I'm just trying to make sure that we do not get caught with our pants down. So what's the worst case scenario if we ask the innkeeper when the fog rolls in and he lies to us?
We get stuck in the fog.
Yep.
And what's the best case scenario if he tells us the truth?
We can make an informed decision whether or not we want to leave the inn and go in search of the children tonight.
And if we don't talk to him, we don't get more information. And our worst case scenario is we still get stuck in the fog.
True.
Dan, you said that the fog comes in from the northeast. What is to the southeast of town / directly east of town?
So I'll be let's see, where are we at? So to the north, to the top part of the screen, you can see where the mountains come down and almost meet right where the northern part of that is off in the distance.
Okay.
As you go towards the northeast, huge mountain range. As you
Okay.
go to the east, huge mountain range, but it extends going south, almost like a wall going to the south, and it kind of goes to infinity from where you can see everything. If you
Okay.
look
So there's
directly south, it's just open, and you can actually see open fields for a while, but eventually a forest behind there.
okay, so open valley into a forest, and then that forest leads off towards the mountains that we need to get to anyway.
Right.
So what if we went into the forest and tried to avoid the fog but still headed east?
Then it doubles our time to get there. So if it was a day, now we're talking 2 days.
You were talking about staying in the inn. I don't think that
No.
elongating our
We've
travel
moved past
around.
that. The inn is. I don't think staying in the inn is. I thought that was the right way to go. And the only reason I say that is because it lets us essentially get a day's rest that we don't have yet. Yes, my time.
How
But if you
so
want to stop now, we can stop now. I don't care.
No, no,
Um,
you're good.
how
so
tired are we in like
I don't know how
from
to answer that because again, I'm not tired, but my character could be exhausted.
right.
Dan, where are we at with regards to rest?
Rest. You've had a full rest before you came into town today.
So we could go a whole night.
I think that's our option.
I think we should I think we should go back and ask the innkeeper if he knows approximately when the fog comes in.
I think that if the innkeeper was going to give us that information, he should have given it to us when we first asked him.
He did. He said it rolls in at night.
Yes, but you and I both got the sense that he was holding something from us on purpose.
I agree. That's why I'm saying if I go back there and take 20 minutes to go back there and ask him, 20 minutes is not a difference in what we're doing.
Do you think that you could sneak in?
And ask him a question like I'm a ghost?
No. The innkeeper lives in the inn. He has to have some sort of information stored somewhere. A lockbox, an office, even just a innkeeping book.
So yeah, I mean, from that perspective, Alpheus is kind of brash, right? He has no problem thinking that he can walk in. I mean, I've done it already once with you guys, right?
I think that's our option then. Because if he doesn't want to give us our information, then we need to take it.
So you want me to snoop before asking if I could just walk in and ask him and he gives me exactly what I'm looking for, whether we believe it or not, and then go back out and verify it afterwards if we don't believe it?
Correct, because if we don't do the snooping first, then we're giving away that opportunity.
No. I could totally walk in there and say like, "Hey,
Yes, but as soon as he sees that we're more roused to the idea, if he is trying to hide the information from us, he will protect that information further. Right now, he thinks that we're still in town and we're still seeking information elsewhere. Now would be the ideal time to catch him doing something nefarious.
but my point is I'm not walking in there and being like, "Hey, we're leaving." I think telling him we're leaving is bad. What I'm saying is if we could walk in there and be like, "Hey, just a question before everything goes down tonight for us protecting the inn. When does this fog start to roll in? When do we start to expect things to have to go sideways?" Right?
So
You
then
get more
here's the
information.
route. Fizz and I will enter the inn in order to try to gain more information. We're going to tell the innkeeper that Jupiter and you had gone over to the Yuri's to try to get more information, and we had both left from the general store. We're
Why are
going
we
to try to
splitting up?
get the info. I'll explain. We're going to try to get the information the general way. And if we're unable to successfully ascertain that information, we're going to leave with the innkeeper having the impression that we're going somewhere else. Then, if need be, if I come out and say that we didn't have that information, Alpheus and you are going to sneak in and gain it.
Wait. I don't want to sneak in with anybody else.
Well, I am the least sneaky person here, so
All I'm saying is that if you're gonna send somebody to sneak with me, the other midget's probably the better way to go, not the 6 foot tall elf.
that's fine.
Right.
I'm not 6 foot tall. I'm like 5 something.
Fizz, what do you think?
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
Jupiter?
It's whatever at this point.
You just
All
want
right.
to leave?
Jupiter and I are going to go into the inn.
No.
You.
I want to know what Jupiter. You just want to leave?
I don't know. I don't know what the best. Like, I think that if we have this if I've been saying to split up to get more information quicker, everybody's
Well,
been saying
we're
no,
not
and now
splitting
everybody
up.
wants to split up.
No.
It's-
We're not splitting up. We're like Fizz and I are just literally going to sit outside the inn while you guys go inside.
Well, you guys can try to see if you can find something, like if you can glean something from outside. You could look through windows. You could try to find secret rooms.
Are you sure you want me to do that? I'm asking you now.
Alpheus, I need you to do whatever it takes to save these kids. I don't care
Game
how
on,
we
brother.
do it.
Let's go.
So it'll be me and Jupiter, and you and Fizz will go and do your own thing, correct?
I'm sticky now.
Jupiter, we need to come up with a reason that we had to come back to the inn.
I'm thinking. Give me a second here.
So this house right across from me, where's the door?
We had to come back because it was starting to turn to dusk. We weren't sure what time the fog rolled around. We needed to know so that we could get the party back together in order to protect the inn like we promised.
That's fair. And the story is that the other two have gone to Yuri's, correct?
Correct.
All right. And I look around to see if, like, to go talk to Alpheus, but he's already, like, him and Fizz have already, like, left to go do their own thing. I guess we're doing this.
I want to know if the door is unlocked. Yes.
Door's locked.
Okay. Windows too, that I can see?
That you can see, yeah. Everything's locked up. What you do notice, there's no lights on in this house.
Okay. And the house next to me, there's no lights on as well?
That one, there is a candle that you can tell there's some kind of light shimmering inside of there.
Fucking shit. Oh, that ain't gonna help me.
So Jupiter and I are walking over towards the inn, and I look over at her. If there becomes any danger, you need to go find them.
Okie dokie, doop a doop a doop a doop a doop a doop
All
a
right.
doop a doop a doop a doop.
I can't.
So for a 5-minute break, I just need a quick 5-minute break.
Bio break.
Dan's pooping.
No, not that. But checking on the dogs. Checking on the dogs real quick.